In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear caliper on your Kia Optima. Located behind the rear wheels, let's get started. Using a 21mm socket, go ahead and remove the lug nuts. Remove the tire. Now moving on to the vehicle, we need to move this arm in order to get to one of the bolts that holds the caliper bracket in place. We're not going to be removing the whole arm completely. All we're going to do is take this bolt out and loosen in this one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Using a 19mm socket, go ahead and loosen this one. Do not take it all the way out. That should be enough. Now we're going to remove this one. Next, we're going to remove this one. And for that, we're going to use a 19mm wrench and a 19mm socket. On the other side of the bolt, there's going to be a nut. We're just going to go ahead and hold it. And on this side, we're going to use the socket to remove the bolt. Remove the nut. And now take the bolt out. And now take the bolt out. Now that you have that bolt loose and this one off, using a small pry bar, we're gonna go ahead and pry on the arm and slide it down. Now we have full access to the bolt that we need to get to. Now that we have access to the bolt, we're gonna be removing this one. Using a 12mm socket, go ahead and take it out. Remove the bolt. Next up, using the same 12mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and remove this one. Now we can go ahead and disconnect the hydraulic line from the caliper. Using an 11mm socket, go ahead and take the banjo bolt out. Before you go ahead and remove the line completely, make sure you have a bucket to catch the fluid that's gonna come out of it. Go ahead and remove the banjo bolt. Take the line off. Sometimes you have to wiggle it. And a little tech tip I'd like to mention, if you happen to have a valve stem laying around, you can wedge it into the hole and it'll stop from leaking. Something like this. Go ahead and move the line away from the caliper. And now we can simply grab onto the whole caliper assembly and slide it out. Moving to the bench, we have the old caliper assembly. And what we need to do now, we have to take this apart to look at the brake pads. Go ahead and use a 14mm socket and remove the two bolts. Grab onto the caliper and pull it out. The next thing we need to do is remove the pads from the bracket. Slide them out and just take a look. If you think they need to be replaced or they look worn, you will go ahead and do that. In this case, these look good, so we're gonna be reusing them. Here we have the new brake assembly. The first thing we need to do is remove the banjo bolt that comes pre-installed on it. It should be hand tight, so I'll go ahead and remove it. And just keep in mind there's gonna be two washers. We are gonna be using those, and I'll be showing you when we move back to the car. So just go ahead and put that to the side and do not lose them. Next up, we're gonna remove these 2 bolts to separate the bracket from the caliper. Use a 14mm socket. The first thing we need to do with the bracket is make sure that the pins move freely and are greased. So go ahead and slide them out and take a look. This one looks good, so we don't have to re-grease. So go ahead and slide it back in. Make sure it moves freely. And we're gonna do the same with the other one. Looks good. Put it back in. Make sure it moves freely. And now we're ready to install the Tims for the pads. Here I have the Tims. Before we go ahead and put them on the new bracket, we're gonna go ahead and use some silicone, and we're gonna be putting some just in the areas where the Tims make contact. So go ahead and do that. Do not put that much, it just needs a little bit. Do the same on the other side. Slide the Tims in. Make sure it's bottomed out, and do the same on the other side. You want to make sure you wipe off any excess grease. You do not want this getting on the rotor. Now we're gonna go ahead and slide the pads onto the bracket. The first thing we need to pay attention to is to the pad that has the little squealer. It goes in the back of the rotor. Looking at the bracket, the side that has the mounting bolts is the back of the rotor. Go ahead and slide the pad in. Should look something like that. And now we're gonna put one that goes in the front. Should look something like this. Grab onto the caliper, slide it in. Sometimes you need to push the pins in order to get it in. Reinstall the bolts. Just go ahead and get them snug. We're gonna be torquing them once we get to the vehicle. Now we can go ahead and head back to the vehicle. Moving to the vehicle, we're gonna go ahead and slide the new assembly in. Make sure you lined up the pads and slide the whole caliper assembly. We're gonna start the bolts for the bracket by hand. You may need to move the assembly up and down just to line it up. Go ahead and snug them up. Now we can go ahead and torque down the bracket to 44 foot-pounds. We're starting with the bottom bolt. And now the top bolt. Now we can torque the caliper pin bolts to 23 foot-pounds. Now we can go ahead and install the hydraulic line to the caliper. The next thing we need to do is remove the stem from the hydraulic hose. Slide it out. Now that we have the banjo bolt, we're gonna go ahead and slide one of the crush washers on one side. It should look something like this. We're gonna grab onto the line, slide it in, and on the other side, we're gonna put the other crush washer. It should look something like this. You're gonna see that the line has this little notch. We're gonna line up that notch with what's on the caliper. So go ahead and do that, and also start the bolt by hand. Snug up the banjo bolt. Now that we have it bottomed out, we're gonna go ahead and torque it to 22 foot-pounds. Go ahead and wipe off any excess fluid you might have on the line and or the caliper. And now we can go ahead and reattach this arm onto the knuckle. Now we can go ahead and slide this arm onto the knuckle. Go ahead and line it up. You might need to use a rubber mallet just to line it up with the hole. Once you line it up, go ahead and install the bolt. Once you have it lined up and the bolt in place, go ahead and install the nut on the other side. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and get it snugged using a 19mm wrench on the nut side and a 19mm socket on the bolt. Go ahead and snug it up. Now we can go ahead and torque down this arm. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a screw jack and I'm gonna put some pressure on the suspension to bring everything as if the vehicle was on the ground. This is done before we torque it. Go ahead and put some pressure on it. And now we're gonna go ahead and get it torqued down. This bolt gets torqued down to 130 foot-pounds. This one gets torqued down to 115 foot-pounds. Holding the nut on the other side, go ahead and get it torqued. Now that we have it torqued, we're gonna go ahead and remove the screw jack. The next step is gonna be gravity bleeding the caliper. The first thing we need to do, we need to remove the cap. Sometimes you can use the tool to just remove it. In this case, we're gonna be using an 11mm wrench. We're gonna go ahead and crack it open, and what we wanna see is a steady stream of fluid. This is what we're looking for. Now we can go ahead and close the valve. Wipe off any excess fluid that's around the caliper. Depending on how much brake fluid is around the caliper, you may want to use some brake parts cleaner. Go ahead and reinstall the cap. Now get in the vehicle and get a feel for the brake pedal. If you feel soft, you will need to perform a full brake bleed procedure. Now go ahead and install the wheel and take it for a road test. Install the tire. And start the lug nuts by hand. Now we can get them snug. With the vehicle on the ground, go ahead and torque it to 80 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Using some brake parts cleaner, we're gonna go ahead and clean the master cylinder before we open the cab. Sometimes there's a lot of debris around this area. Go ahead and spray some. Wipe off any debris around the cap. You do not want any debris getting in there. Go ahead and open the cap. If you read the cap, you're gonna see that it says DOT3 or DOT4. In this case, we're gonna be using some DOT3. Next, we're gonna go ahead and use a vacuum pump, and we're gonna evac as much fluid as we can. Now we can go ahead and refill the system with brand new fluid. Now reinstall the cap. Make sure that it is snugged. The procedure for this vehicle goes this way. First we do the right rear. After that we move on to the front left, followed by the rear left, and lastly, the front right. After we've done the left front, we're gonna go ahead and refill the master as needed. Moving to the right rear of the vehicle, we're gonna go ahead and bleed the caliper. Using a brake bottle, I'm gonna go ahead and attach it. If your caliper has a cap on the bleeder, you go ahead and remove it now. In this case, I'm using a small flathead screwdriver just to pop it off. Using a 10mm wrench, you're gonna go ahead and put it on, connect your hose. We're gonna have someone in the vehicle pump the brakes for us after we open the bleeder. While they hold on the brake, we're gonna go ahead and open it. What we're looking for is a steady stream of fluid and no air bubbles. Go ahead again. One more time. This looks good, so we can go ahead and close the valve, remove the hose, remove your wrench, reinstall the bleeder cap. Using some brake parts cleaner, we're gonna spray the area just to get rid of any of the fluid. Go ahead and wipe off any excess fluid. And now we can move on to the left front of the vehicle. We're gonna repeat the same process on the front of the vehicle. Use a small flathead screwdriver. Take off the cover. Using a 10mm wrench, you're gonna go ahead and slide it in. Install your hose for the brake bleeder. We're gonna have someone in the vehicle go ahead and pump the brakes. And when they hold, you're gonna go ahead and crack open the valve. Close it. We're gonna repeat that process a couple times. And just remember, what we're looking for is no air in the system. One more time. This looks good, so we're gonna go ahead and close the valve. Remove the hose. Remove your wrench. We're gonna go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner and just clean off the area. Wipe off any excess. And reinstall the cover. Now we can go ahead and refill the system with brand new fluid. Now reinstall the cap. Make sure that it is snugged. Now that I've shown you how to do the brake bleeding procedure on the right rear and the left front, you're gonna go ahead and repeat the process for the left rear and the right front. After that, you wanna make sure you fill in the master cylinder as needed. And now go ahead and torque the wheels to 79.6 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.